Same thing what Paige said earlier. Portland's like a whole different vibe, and I love it.
Lie down over there. Lie down. Lie down.
Y'all weather confused the hell out of me though. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna do one piece for you guys. If you guys want to pay attention, that's perfectly fine. I just asked for quietness because I'm not using a mic. So it's called Dead Laughter. Sure. You know, for a guy who calls himself comedy, I'm really not that funny. Matter of fact, if I describe myself in one sentence, I would say that I'm a room full of ex-lovers singing happy birthday. It's safe to say I'm awkward. In my younger years, I never watched Dragon Ball Z like the rest of my friends. Instead, I watched that show from the 90s called Friends. Most of the jokes going over my adolescent head, but I laughed anyways when the laugh track played. Now removed from my childhood to understand the jokes, but what saddens me is the realization that some of the happiness I hear in the chuckles belong to the deceased. Dead Laughter. My life, the sitcom, the laugh tracks, past versions of myself trying to bring some joy to this current episode of my life, titled Depression. Hitting me harder than a left hook from Mike Tyson. Some days I duck, other days I wish to get knocked out. 26 years of life, and for the last two, I feel like the man in the mirror has done a horrible job of reflecting how I feel. I assume this is what people see when they look at me. Yo, laughing on the outside, empty and numb within. My heart was a train wreck with earthquakes for legs, all while my brain spun faster than a tornado. To call me a disaster would have been a compliment. Trying to remember the last time I said I'm fine and actually meant it. Afraid of my emotions because they'll be gone in a couple of moments. So when I feel empty, I'll purposely think of sad thoughts so I can feel like a human again. I had a friend tell me that people don't realize depression isn't just sadness. It's feeling everything at once or feeling nothing at all. It doesn't introduce itself. It lives within me rent-free, never cleaning up the mess it makes, often shown in places where it's never welcome. Is anybody else tired of pretending that things are okay when life seems to be giving up on showing you your purpose? Sick of feeling like you're being a burden to everyone around you, like you're disposable or worthless. Depression is a Rubik's Cube some people gave up on solving. No, there isn't a perfect algorithm to figure out this complex puzzle. Some people figure it out, other people give up for life, like Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. Felt numb for so long, tried clawing his way towards sanity, but in the end did not prevail. Robin Williams once said that comedy is acting out optimism, but outside of the public eye, his reality was the opposite. About 3,000 Tchaikovskys suffer from the same fate per day, thinking that killing the voice inside their head will make it all go away, leaving nothing but memories in the form of pictures and videos while friends and family cry nonstop upset because they just didn't know how much their loved one was suffering alone. Raise your hand if you've ever felt alone in a room full of people. Look around. Remember that feeling and imagine that lasted for 740 days. I was half the man I used to be. Other half was misery. This is where comedy decided to meet reality. A shell of my potential, spiritually empty, so I lost my drive, physically alive but dead inside. I cried in silence. Frequently hearing I love you, but not often feeling it. Now my demons stop hiding instead or mocking me. Dead laughter. This is a part of my poems where I try to put a positive twist on things, but while writing this, I didn't feel very optimistic. I'd be foolish to guarantee you that everything's going to be okay, but I will remind you that there are plenty of episodes in the season. This is just that one you want to skip. Yo. Cliffhangers are needed for a season to end so I can begin my new transition in life. I'll title it Overcoming Depression. I can't tell you much about the storyline because it's still being written each day, but if I were to be perfectly honest with you, I'll tell you that this feeling never fully goes away. It returns like reruns, which should never be the main focus. Surround yourself with love. Be honest and open. Main lesson to depression, maintain your faith. Fight every day. And when someone has the audacity to tell you get over it, you tell them to stay in their lane. Create a safe place for your body and mind and do not rush the progression because it takes some time. Smile more. Learn how to accept the compliments. Do not focus on where you need to go, but take pride in where you have been. Hey. You are a masterpiece still in production, perfectly imperfect. That's what makes you human. It's okay to be human. And as for me, I rediscovered inner peace. It took some time, but if you say it and believe it, you're going to be fine. Believe in your worth and you will survive this. You have to want a better life just as much as you need it. Refuse to let your troubles be the main factor. I'm happy to say that as of lately, my laugh tracks are up to date now. I stopped relying on dead laughter. Thank you.